うん。 Hello. I spoke to me. Can you hear me? Okay, cool. Good evening, everyone. Okay, so you can still share the link to everyone. I'm going to start soon. I'm going to start soon. Turning on without me opening. It's crazy. How do I? Because I did live stream. Hmm. Okay, so I want to make it so that I can be seeing your live chat and I can reply what you guys are doing, what you guys are commenting. So, hmm. Hmm. Something odd about this live stream. All right, so yeah, let's get started. All right. First of all, I want to welcome you all to our first training. Use this. All right. So confirm if you can hear me. If you can hear me, you can just um, drop a heart in the chat or something. Can you hear me? All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Thank you. Okay. So today is our first day of this class. All right. This is the first day of this class, and then we're going to take it. I'm going to explain a lot of things actually. And one of the things I'm going to explain is the difference between the front end and the back end. Okay. So I'm going to explain your scheme of work. All right. Now give me a moment so that I can expand my screen so you can see it better. Okay. So now, first of all, my name is Moses. I'm a I'm a software engineer with over 6 years of experience. All right. So I'll be the one handling this class for the for the next 1 month, especially on online training. Okay. So now I know some questions that was coming on board when I was starting and all of that stuff. So people say they don't have laptops and all of that. So I'm going to still explain what you are going to be doing, every other thing, all your questions are going to be answered. If you also have a question, I'm going to like bring up a Q&A session so that we can do it orderly. All right. Now, I want to explain the difference between a front end and a back end. Okay. Now, for a front end, a front end is the plot you can see. Okay. The front end is the part you can see, and the back end is the part you can't see. Can't you guys see my screen? Ah, let me join this stuff with another link or something. Let me join this stuff with another link or something. Let me join this okay, stuff. Okay. So I think it's blank actually. Let me share something. Alright. Holy. But now one see me. Can you see it now? It was showing before though. Can you see my screen now? I mean, I'm not even still seeing it. Like this YouTube is somehow. Wait, okay. So you are seeing it now, and me, I'm not seeing it on my end again. Okay, this is funny. So okay, cool. Okay, if you are seeing it, there's no problem then. There's no problem. So, alright, no wala, all good. If you guys are seeing it now, that's fine. I'm not seeing it on my end, but there's no wala as far as you guys are seeing it. If you can't see my screen, but can you hear me? and everything is set. I can continue now. Yeah, if it's not clear enough, okay. So there's a settings where you can increase the pixel of your quality, your video quality. I'm actually streaming on the highest quality as I can. Right. So I don't know why that is happening, but I'm glad that you guys can see now, so I can move on. Okay, thank you very much. All right. So what I was trying to do is I wanted to explain to you the difference between front end and back end. Okay. So that's one. And then that's what I'm going to learn today, the difference between front end and back end. And then I'm going to explain to you which is which and which is better. I'm going to give you some examples of how it is. Okay. And I'm going to give you some live examples. I believe I have some codes I can show you here if time permits. But for now, I'm putting up a screen so that you can see the whole logic I'm doing behind the scenes. Okay. So and then also for those people that don't have laptop, I'm trying to answer all the questions too. Yeah, front and back. Okay. For those people that don't have laptop, right? You cannot code. You can code with phone. Don't I don't want to find trouble before person could talk say no code with phone. But you can actually code with phone. But the thing is, it's not going to be good you start coding with phone. Right? And you can be stubborn enough to code with phone, but it's not going to be good to start coding with phone. Because if you do that, uh, there are few things that will cause wahala for you. All right. One is that it's going to affect your, let's say, thinking. Yeah. All right. So let's say you be limited to coding with phone only. I'm coming. Okay, I can move it actually. Sorry. I'm trying to prepare the other screen so you can see it. So now, one thing I know that you can be limited to some things that once you start with coding with phone now, if you start with laptop, there's how it's going to be. I don't really know how to explain it, but let me use. I think I can use this for an example. Okay, so for instance, now if you notice when someone is having bad experience with mathematics, let me use mathematics for instance. That's because the person's foundations in mathematics is very bad. Now, someone that actually learned have a good teacher, sorry, someone that actually have a good teacher with maths, okay, yeah, since he has a strong foundation, he's not going to be scared of maths when he goes to a higher institution or whatever. Okay. But someone that has a bad teacher and that teacher made him to be scared of math, no matter how he meets a good teacher in the future, he's going to be definitely still scared of maths. And that is the same thing that I want to tell you that for your learning, like for you to actually be sane, yeah, let me use that word, and so that you not limit yourself. You can break through. There are so many developers that started with phone. I have a friend that started with phone. Yeah. I'm not saying you follow that path. Yeah. But I just feel it's limiting, right? It's really, really limiting. For me, you get I'm really scared to say some people have that ability to survive. Yeah. I'm just saying it so that it will just be easier for you. Now we are going to take down some notes before we go into this. So now this, like I said, this is a live class. There is no autofill or anything. It's just me and you. We are going to talk. Right? That's the way I wanted it to be. You get? Yeah. Calm down now. I'm sharing the other screen. Can you see the other screen now? We um can you see the other screen now? Like the difference between front end and back end. If you can see it, just say I can see it on the chat or something. I'm so confused right now. So that I can move on. Okay. I think you guys have seen it. All right, true. Okay, now let's move on then. Okay, this is just going to be like an easier explanation between front end and back end. You get? So I'm going to see you in time I permit. I'm going to show you some codes that I have on my plate here. You get? Or we are going to even run some codes here. Let me just use that word. You're going to run some codes. All right. So guys, if time permits. So now let's move on. So first of all, we have the front end, which is the client side. All right. Front end is the part you see. Basically, front end is the part you see, and then back end is the part you don't see. Now, let's say, for instance, you are seeing this UI, you are seeing my mouse, you are seeing this highlighting, you are seeing the text. Okay, it's the front end. Okay, now what is actually displaying this thing that is editing now? It's going to show my name. What is actually storing it? That once you go and come back, is there. It's backend. Can you hear me? Wahala. I don't know if you can increase the volume of your. Or can you hear me? Oh, all right. So I believe my voice is loud enough. So try to increase your let's say volume of your device or something. All right. So all right. Let's continue. Let's continue. So like I said, the front end is the client side, the part that you see. Okay. For instance, now this chat you are chatting, like you are sending the message. Yeah. Once you type it on your phone, you are seeing what you are doing. Then once you send the message, you are not seeing how the message is being broadcasted to everyone in the chat. So that logic behind the scene, that one is backend. Yeah. But the one that you are seeing, like it's loading up, that is the front end. I'm looking for another example, a very common one that we can talk about now. Okay, for instance, you unlock your phone. You get now what tells the computer that that is the password that's your own password, or the passcode you put is the same thing that you set before. Like what is comparing it together is actually the backend. Yeah. Now what is sending it or what is setting it, you're the one making request. So what you're making requests by using the front end. You're using the front end to make requests. Shit, I'm literally breaking it down to a really, really layman's understanding. So now for me to type my password and then the backend the phone is able to know that that's the password I set before. Yeah. Now there's something that I'm comparing it to. You get so now the backend is the one that is comparing it. Then the front end is the one that is sending the value to compare. The front end is the one that is making the request. All right. So now that is the difference between front end and back end. Indirectly, is the front. Like I said, front end is the part that users see and interact with. So their front end. There are so many front end sites or front end fields. Okay. So let me just put on some front end fields. All right. One is web front end web developer, which is the same thing. But yeah, front end web developer. So yeah, backend web developer. I say backend. Ah shit. Mobile developer. There's no ready-made stuff, so we are doing it live. You get. Uh-huh. That's the whole essence. It's going to be a whole different thing. Alright. Backend developer, mobile developer, all these people that are building front end this in desktop developer. This is the popular ones I'm calling. I believe the first ones are popular in the sense that there's a mobile developer, there's a mobile app developer. You can call it mobile app developer so that somebody will understand. Then there's a front end web developer. Then there's a desktop app developer. You can still call it desktop developer or desktop app developer. No matter. All these people deal with front end. Now backend. It's not really. They have the major, but all of them they are still classified as backend fields because they all use servers and they all use logic stuff. Front end doesn't. You don't actually see or understand what they are doing. Yes, I am. I am recording the stream, so after now you can later go and watch. All right. Uh, why is it not working the way I want it to work? Okay, it works. Thank you. Backend field. So we have one backend developer. Backend I have a web developer because backend can work with the three of them regarding their technologies. That is another cool thing being a backend dev. Sha, the other still pegs, but backend can work with the three of them. That there's no like backend mobile developer. There's nothing like that. There's DevOps. I call this one. There's DevOps. I call DevOps like something like senior backend developer. Well, guys, some people it's just like a special field on its own, but it's the same thing. You majorly work with cloud servers. This one majorly work with servers. Cloud servers. Yeah. So that's the major thing of DevOps. The manage operations. I think that they mean development operations. So then there's other backend developer. There's cloud engineering. All these ones and etc. Because I think I've listed the three of them for them, and there are others. And etc. There's I'm trying to remember one. Mm, I think this is the one for now. The other ones are they're looking like front end, back end, but not code. All these data analysis and stuff like that. But the whole point is that these two majorly do backends, cloud services, cloud engineering, cloud architecture, all these things. Even networking itself, there's a backend there. But the whole point is that these are the few fields in front end and backend. Okay, so now what else? Technologies that they now I think I've yeah HTML, CSS, Vue, and other technologies, other frameworks that's used. Yeah, that's what front end used to display things on the browser. Yeah, they handle the same thing with the layout and the designs. They handle the same things with the layout. They handle the layout, the buttons, and all those things. All those buttons, that's what front end use. And there are other technologies that front end use too. And for mobile, this is for web. This is for web. Okay. Then let's say for mobile. For mobile, they use things like React Native. I'm explaining this thing. Okay, it's not you don't like let it cloud your head. Okay, I just want you to understand front end and back end properly. That is the whole aim of this class. And just like an introduction class, so that you know which side you are going to pick. That's my whole aim. So you to know this side you are going to pick after this lesson. All right. React Native, they have React Native, they have this for mobile, they have React Native. Let me see, let me put in the brackets. I'm coming. Sorry. Okay. Give me a moment. Okay. All right. We're back. React Native, Flutter. They have React Native, Flutter. They have Kotlin. They have Swift. Swift for iOS. Kotlin is for Android, specifically for the Android. I don't want to really dive into it, and the other ones are cross-platform. So let's just know that it works like that. You get, so that nobody gets confused or get overwhelmed. These are the ones for mobile, and then for desktop. Okay, switch on fast. Switch on fast. Mhm. All right, so for desktop now. Okay, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello. Yeah. I don't know. Like this now, I am so confused on this whole. I am so confused. Okay, finally. I am so confused. Okay, finally. Okay, we are back online for some reasons. I don't know why I disconnected. I believe the next day won't be like this because this is actually probably the first time or the second time we are doing this, but I don't know why it's happening like this. But I believe the next time it will be like this. So, but let's shoot. All right, so you can hear me now. Okay, you can see my screen. You can also hear me, so I can continue, right? If we then you see my screen again. We cannot see. Okay. For those that cannot see, let me reshare. I'm going to go back again, and then I'm going to share the window again so that I can see my screen. Okay, my screen is moving now. All right, so right on. All right, I think I just need two people to just say right on, then we just move on. I've seen one person again telling me right on. Like this now, I cannot see literally the other side of what I'm doing. So in my own head now, I am showing everything I can. So you guys are giving me feedback on. All right, okay, two persons. Victor, don't be by force. Calm down. Okay. All right. So now, so now I was explaining desktop, right? So desktop we have C sharp and we have Swift 2 for iOS, and then we have this thing. Oh, this C sharp is like this. Uh, how did it done? Okay. Yeah, C sharp. Okay. Oh, I should increase the font size. Okay, okay. Okay, is it better now? Okay, so now we have Swift, and then we have Python. Yes, yeah, Python can do a lot of things actually. And we have that. Yeah, we have that. That can. Oh, did I add? That is the same thing with Flutter, Sha. You can just. Oh, that is Flutter. Oh, yeah, see that. Right. So I did just know that is Flutter. They are all related. Before someone will bash me. Now all these things work with forms, they work with design, they have layouts, they have buttons, they're just a way of interacting. For instance, this application is a desktop application. Yeah. So you can see it has a button that where you can type this an input field and all of that stuff. Backend don't have any input field. Backend only have a way of receiving data through the only input field backend has. Okay. Now, like I said, this is what users don't see behind. So I've listed out there are some Node.js, there are Python, there's this PHP. I'm not really a fan of that language, anyways. There's PHP, there's C Sharp, there is there's C Sharp, there's Rust, there is. I just want to remember one last one now. I read Python, PHP, Node.js, JavaScript is among, but it's still there. I'm trying to remember one last one. C Sharp too. C Sharp. Yeah. Good. I remember to that actually. Okay, there's C too. C can run backend. I'm on fire. Normal C can run backend. Yeah, C plus plus. There's a thing for C plus. I don't really. Yeah, it's not really a backend thing. So there's like a side effect in it. But C sharp and listen runs backend. Even oh yeah, did I add Java? Java for mobile. Yeah. Okay. So, but don't cram me. What we are doing is not mobile. I'm just trying to list out the ones I can remember. Yeah, Java can do backend. It's really fast. Okay, so that handles backend authentication, API logics. Like I said, you're able to log in today with your phone, and you're able to log in with your YouTube. How is the server, or how is the computer able to know that that is your own account? It's because of the login details and some things that you input there. Okay, so all those things are comparison and stuff. Now, okay, yes, Alexandra, thank you for bringing more there. Spring Boot, yeah. Spring Boot is under still Java. They're all inside Java. Just as if you are telling me that this is not JavaScript. That Node.js is not JavaScript. I didn't know how JavaScript here because all of them are under. All right, so let's move on. So that's how database logics, in the sense that your name and everything is stored in a database. That is what backend does. So backend does this middleman work. You get. I'll explain it in another layman. I think I'm done with front end. Now let me explain backend. Backend is like the middleman. It does the behind the scene work. It connects the database and the front end together. So for instance, now I log in today. I registered an account. So that details, those things that you like imputed, your password, your everything, you get, you send it to the backend. Backend will carry that data from the front end to the database. That is majorly the work of backend, ba. So it's going to carry that data from the front end to the database, and it's going to store it there. Now, whenever you need that data, front end is going to request again that, okay, oh, look, I want to log in now. I've signed up before. I believe my information is stored. Now I want to log in. Backend is going to make that request. You're going to put in, okay, put in your details. There are going to be input fields where you put in your details. All right, put in your details. Then once you put in your details now, it's going to send backend message. Okay, oh, go to the server as you go to the database. That's what front end is telling backend. Oh, I'm just like bringing it down. Go to the database and then check whether this information is there. And if this information is there, check whether or if, any word, whether or if the password and the email are together are the same. That's what I put in there. That is what the front end will send the backend. Now, backend will go the message. I'm gonna be setting the whole database or the user model, depending. Okay, once backend search that database and they are going to see, okay, let me check. Okay, it's going to scan through. It's going to be very fast. All this thing I'm saying happens very fast within split seconds. Okay, so you're going to scan through and just check. Okay, we have this number, we have this person, we have this person. Then once it sees your own, it's going to now return. That person will send message. Let me just speak normal English and they avoid broken like this now. If someone is sending message, whenever you send someone a message, they're expecting a feedback in return, isn't it? So now, whenever you send the backend message, it's going to send you a response. You get once backend now send you the response that it's going to send you that he has seen the person. This is the full details of the person you're looking for, or it's going to send you that, okay, I can't find the person. That is 404. Or it's going to return in a worst case, and it's going to return internal server error. That's when the server is down. Okay, server shut down, server error, all those things. That one is 500 response. All right. So now that is what, but at the end of the day, backend is the middleman and is the messenger. He goes a lot of messages for the front end. Front end just send the message. He goes to meet the database, communicate with the database, return the data back from the database. It's only backend that can communicate with the database and both the front end. But front end cannot communicate directly to the database. Database is always secured. That's just the whole point of this thing. So I believe that you guys understand or understood what I just said. So now, if you understood what I said, there's a pool. There's a pool there. You can actually choose between front end and back end. You can still maybe choose your choice or stuff like that. You get? So I believe now, with what I've said so far, do you understand the difference between front end and back end? Alexander, there's something that is telling me that you know how to code already. I don't know, but it's something that is telling me you know how to code. Another person. Okay. All right. Yeah, he knows how to code. Yeah. I can sense it from his response. Yeah. It's something that you can't actually hide that well, especially when you are communicating frequently. And as we are contributing to the stuff. Yeah. But it's really cool. So, but yeah, okay. So I believe everyone understood the difference between front end and back end. That's cool. Okay. So now my main aim, like I said, the difference between front end and back end, that one has been justified. Okay. So now they are like members of, there's some people now. Let me answer the second one. If you don't have, like I said, okay, I've answered that one. If you don't have a laptop, problem with it. Yes. Now the second thing is that they are intermediate here. You get? Yeah. If you check the program flyer, they are intermediate. You get? They are intermediate. There are people that know how to code already. There are people that don't know how to code at all. People that don't know how to code at all. There are people that know how to code already. All right. So now there are classes for the intermediate. Yes. There are still classes for there's classes for everybody, even for the experts too. And if there's somebody that's even better than me here, I'm down to learn. So maybe you host a class for me. All right. So now the thing I want to say is that the classes for the intermediate is going to, we don't know the intermediate yet because the main focus here is going to be for the beginners. Now the intermediate, you are going to signify yourself in the community, and so that we know Sorry. So we know ourselves, and then we're going to have a separate class. That one you don't need to learn HTML and CSS again now, since you already know it. I believe some of you might know a framework here now. All right. So that's for the intermediate. But for the beginners, we gather day. Like sorry, we are together. For the beginners, we are definitely together. Okay. So that's for the beginners for backend and frontend. We are together. All right. So the whole scheme of work now. Let me just scroll down to the scheme of work. I think with this now, I can actually explain the scheme of work. I don't have more. Uh, all right, shoot. Okay, so confirm if you can see my other screen. Alright. Oh, good. Okay, so let's shoot. Now, the duration is actually 3 weeks. 1 week will be for projects. Okay. Now, mind you, you're not going to actually learn everything in 3 weeks. The only thing I just wanted to understand at the end of this training is just to create maybe a basic website. Then you're able to understand how to integrate backend endpoints. Not everything, though. Like it's hard to capture everything at the same time. Mind you, it's actually a short period of time to learn that kind of amount of coding. But what I'm going to show is to have this feeling of how it is. Yeah. You can follow me. We're going to do either, yeah, like I said, it's going to be hackathon style of this thing. Okay. I'll be there to correct you. And then you guys are going to learn together. Yeah. That's the best way because it's easier when a fellow beginner teaches you, especially when a fellow beginner understands it from me. Yet everybody don't have that same understanding. So I'm not actually hoping that you're going to get it sharp. It's not everyone that does that. I've taught like 20 plus people before, and like 2 or 3 persons understand it faster. It happens. The other persons now understand it slower. It took me before I go into this whole thing, let me just tell you that it took me like 2 to 3 years for me to understand JavaScript. I was really scared of JavaScript. Okay. So you're not even alone. I don't still understand JavaScript fully, but right now I'm using TypeScript and I'm using more advanced programming languages. That was because JavaScript was my first programming language. Check it. Aha. So you're not alone actually. But there's some of the other of my friends that was catching it faster. I was not that guy. But my own took me hard, but I actually still scaled through. Check it. Okay, now let's shoot. Now the next thing, okay, the next thing is going to be 3 day. This is for you, all right. It's for you 3 to 4 hour session. Hmm. All right. Then working goals, MVP, finish mini projects. Yeah. GitHub and stuff. Okay, so now the second one, this is for front end. This is what you're going to learn for the week one: introduction to HTML, intro to JS, Node.js, installing npm, and yeah, this one is for server. Front end will do this one, but no, no, I think it's for the intermediate. There, you just understand HTML forms, semantics, and CSS classes. So you get, I don't know if you guys are with me. So HTML classes, setting up the Express.js basic route, Flexbox, grid. All this is you are going to understand it whenever I'm explaining them. Yeah. This is just like an introduction. I'm going to still send this PDF to you very soon. The time factor coming. I don't want to get distracted. I'm coming. All right. Basic JS, variable loops, functions. All this is like something that you're going to actually learn. Then you're going to just build this. So like I said, the type of learning you're learning now is going to be in a marathon way. Like the format I did is a marathon way. You get, in the sense that you have to do it together. You learn together. Everybody will feel together. I believe that the system of learning is always lonely. It's always lonely. So, but I scaled through. I learned faster when I was working with senior developers than when I was alone for all those years. Right? So I think is that is one thing I want to introduce here. All right. So then this is where you start doing the hackathon. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to send you this so that I can look it and you can be ahead of the class. Smart kid. Mind you, I'm going to add a disclaimer. One is that please note in peace. Programming is not something you do one day and you leave it for 2 days. Okay? Especially at your learning phase. It's not something you put in one leg. Today you do, tomorrow you not do, and then the next day you not say you do. You forget everything. If you leave programming one day, like if you have started, if you leave it one day, it's going to leave it 2 days. If you leave it 4 days, it's going to leave you 8 days. Just like that. If you leave it 1 month times two. So it's something you have to do consistently. It's not something you need to cram. Another thing, it is not. There is no cramming here. I can literally write lines of code, and I'll just look at the code and I understand it. If I cram that code, how do you want it to be dynamic? For instance, the client say you want this one, you want the button to fly. So I'm not gonna cram the whole code for buttons to fly. Then that client say, okay, I don't want the buttons to fly again. Like it's stressful to cram. You just have to understand the foundation and the basics. That is all. So that is the whole thing. Thank you. So you understand, it's not something that you need to cram. There's no cramming here. You have to understand. Okay. Then now, what else? What else? What else? It is not something you learn faster. Just something that you can just start today and you just catch it once. There's always ups and downs. And the ups and downs is choke. I'm not discouraging you. I'm just adding those things you need to know. Probably someone deceived you. Yeah. This 1 month training, I'm going to say is something that is going to show you the basics and understand the basics of programming. It is not showing your front end and back end. It's not showing you like everything. You cannot learn everything in 1 month now. Everything that someone have learned in 6 years, you want to, and someone is still learning, you want to catch it in 1 month. Even your education self, if it's school self, although you know they do am, one night somebody will read something that you have learned for 3 months. At the end of the day, you pour. It doesn't work like that. Programming on is dynamic in the sense that what you read it will be different from what you see in exam hall. And totally different. Because this time now you are facing humans, you are facing different clients, you are facing different issues. So it's not that one. It's not that one. So just on the only thing is that you should just understand the basics. Understand, like now I just explained the difference between front end and back end. So now indirectly, the front end is just what you see, and back end is what you don't see. At least you understand the server side and the client side. You can explain it in any way you understand, but the whole point is that last front end is the server, front end is the client side, and back end is the server side. So yes, if I remember anyone, I'll share it again. But this is the ones I can remember. And secondly, it's not possible. Okay, it's possible. You learn in 3 months. Yeah, for those people that are looking for the money sharp, sharp. Yes, and money carriers come here. It's not still possible. Just come on your eye for money for like 6 months or 1 year safe. 1 year to be on the safe side. To be on the safer side for more than for 2 years. First of all, you need to gain experience. After learning the skill, you gain experience. After gaining experience, you need to get value for yourself. Now, for you to have value for yourself, it will not be based on the project and the problems you've solved. You see, there are steps to this thing. Right? So at the end of the day, I'm going to actually show you. At the end of the day, I'm going to show you. At the end of the day, I'm going to still show you how you can actually scale through as a beginner. Probably towards the ending of this thing. So after learning, I'm going to just drop some stuff. All right. With that being said, it's already past 1 hour. It's 1 hour session. So I'm going to open. I'm open for questions and answers right now. So if you have questions, wait, let me see. Uh, well, if you have questions, you can drop it on the chat. Yeah, you can check the timetable. The timetable, I filtered everything for you. The roadmap. These are just the major things. I mean, this one is not clear enough for what. I'm going to send you the PDF. In fact, I'm doing that right. I'm doing that right now. Where does Power BI and SQL comes in Frontend? Okay, yeah. Okay, SQL, Power BI, SQL comes in backend. SQL is a database. SQL is a database. All right, SQL is a database. What again? Any question? SQL is a database, so it falls in backend. Yeah. What else? Okay, the time the class will be holding. Okay, the date will be communicated to us. It's because of the physical one. All right. So just know that before, on or before Monday, the timing and everything will communicate. But it's going to be hosted here. We are going to mostly be using YouTube. Any other question? Questions. Okay, so I'm sending the okay, I forwarded it to the group. Check the community, you see the scheme of work. All right. So what else? What else? Any question again? I'm going to close this in like 3 minutes. So that's by 1:15. Okay, I say 3 minutes. In the next 3 minutes, not 1:15. So all right. Questions. Any confusion, any other thing you have, like that's confusing you with what I've said with the training so far? Okay. So, with that being said, we've come to the end of this training. I'm sorry for it not being smooth enough yet. Yeah, our next experience is going to be better. Okay, so see you guys sometime next week. Yeah, the timetable will be shared. Yeah, I'm still having. I want to make the timetable similar to when we are going to be doing this. Okay, let me just say one more thing before we close for the season. Okay, first of all, the classes now you get are going to be recorded. Yeah, I forgot to say that part. But for this week, we are going to be having it live till yeah, we're going to be having it live for this week. But the live session will be mostly that is from next week. The live session will be mostly for from sorry I say from tomorrow from weekends. Yes, that is from Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Those times are going to be live sessions. Then the recorded sessions are going to be on the weekdays. I am not building us a full stack. No, it's going to take time. Yeah, you are the one that is building the full stack. The full stack, you cannot learn full stack in 1 month, yeah. So I don't think it's possible, but that is not learning. Yeah, that is just I don't know how to explain it. In fact, it's even hard to learn Frontend in 1 month. That's why I said they are not learning everything in 1 month. Yeah, just understanding the basics. Moving on. So now the what I said, Monday to Friday, there'll be recorded seasons on the we have a on-site training, all right. But for now, I don't think that will happen next week because the location is not yet stable. But for now, so now that's why we are going to use online. There but weekends, I'm going to make myself available weekends. That is Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Okay, Saturday and Sunday sure pass. When I mean Saturdays and Sundays, that is going to be nights like this, Saturdays and Sundays nights like this. Then we are going to be having these sessions. That is where we are going to be communicating with ourselves. I'll be explaining what and what you have done for the week, and everyone is going to come together. I'm going to like correct some of you this thing. Now, after this meeting, again, I almost forgot. I almost forgot. So after this meeting now, they are going to be specified into groups. Front end and back end, front end and back end, into different teams. You get front end and back end will still saying the same thing. You get now. I believe at the end of this training, you will know who is the front end dev and who is the back end. So you are going to build a full stack product together while you are learning. It's going to be so much fun. You get because some people will be confused, some people will be frustrated, some people will be smiling. That's the fun in it. And some people will help each other. So now after this training, you're going to be specified into different groups. Yeah, everyone front end and back end, front end and back end. And inside that group, you have different leaders. So that is just another extra information. Okay. But the live streaming will not be occurring Mondays to Friday. It will only be pre-recorded videos. That is, they're going to be like videos that I'm going to record. Okay. That I'm going to record my screen and I'm going to do some stuff while explaining. And also, I'm going to still record myself on the live site, the on-site training. So then you can go and then rewatch and then I still drop some will I say materials that I consider myself and some of them that you can just look through it from what I thought that day. And then yeah. Then on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, between Saturdays and Sundays, actually, I can't promise on Friday, but Saturdays and Sundays, we are going to be having a live session like this where we are going to sit down and we're going to talk and we know what we are doing. Okay, I'm going to there'll be a time where I'm going to move it to like a Google Meet, so we can actually be having like a normal back-to-back convo in the sense that I'm having constant feedback. I think it feels better that way, and but I don't think it's now, but there'll be a time. Okay, so any questions? Okay, there's no questions. There are 19 of you on this stream, so please like the stream, share to your friends. There are 19 plus of you actually. So like the stream, share, so some subscribe, and then yeah, I want to revote, but no option. Oh yeah, there's no option to revote. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, King Elliot, Hank Elliot. Sorry, I missed for liking the stream. So like the stream and share, right? So show and subscribe to the YouTube channel so we can do more of this in the future. Okay. So with that being said, thank you all for joining. I enjoyed this. Even though that I don't know what happened in the middle of the session, but I really do enjoy this stuff. Again, it makes me feel good again. I don't know how to explain it, but I enjoy talking with you guys. I hope to do the same. We are already doing it, doing it soon. All right, and I can't wait to see the outcome of this. I know it's going to be great. The only thing I just want you to do is to actually believe that you can do it. All right, so I know it's going to be great. So, so with that being said, thank you all for joining, and we're going to see later. Bye. Yeah, my name is Tim Moses. You can call me Mr. Dark. All right. Bye, chat. There are more front end people that voted than back end. That's cool.